Did you know that 1 in 10 children today have a diagnosis of ADD or ADHD? There is a distinction between ADD. ADD is attention deficit, and ADHD with the H in there is hyperactivity. Not all children have the hyperactive component. So that's important to know, but all of them have signs of being unable to focus, having difficulties in school, and we're going to explain why. All of these children, or most of them, have a retained primitive reflex called ATNR. So we're going to talk about that today. I'm Dr. Linda Slack.
And I'm Dr. Kelly Began. And today we're going to be talking about the ATNR reflex. What does that stand for, Dr. Linda?
The ATNR reflex stands for asymmetric tonic neck reflex. So this reflex is going to emerge at about 3 weeks in the womb, and then it will inhibit, or I like to say go to sleep, at about 7 months. As we've talked about with all the other reflexes, these reflexes are there in the beginning of life for protection, for survival, and then they inhibit and they're replaced by more advanced reflexes or postural reflexes as the child grows through their milestones. So really important though that they always remain dormant and will reemerge if there's a severe stress trauma.
Like COVID-19.
Exactly. So in the womb at 13 weeks, what is it responsible for? It helps with the crossed extensor reflex. It also helps with the stepping reflex, which is present in the newborn infant up until about 6 weeks. And this is when you take the baby, if you place them upright and let their feet touch a surface, they will actually look like they're walking, taking some steps. And the third one is that it will help with when you feel those little kicks in the womb, that is the ATNR reflex. We know it's activated when you feel those kicks going on, and that could start as early as 13 weeks.
It also is really important in the birth process, which I think is really cool because it helps the baby get out of the womb by making the first rotation through the birth canal. Right. So you see with kids who go through belly births that they don't have this reflex present, or it's not there when it should be, which is really important to note for moms who do have belly births.
Yeah. The other thing is if you have a C-section birth, this reflex and many others aren't activated right away. So somehow they need to be stimulated after birth. Okay, so in the beginning of life, we test for this reflex we want it to be present and show up. And so it may not be, it may be absent. And there are things that we can do to stimulate it if it is absent. But how do we test it?
So how we test the ATNR reflex, are also known as the fencer reflex, by having the baby on their back, their head is in my hands, and what you do is you passively turn their head to one side. When you turn their head to that one side, that same side should extend and their other side should flex, which is why it's called the fencer reflex, because if you know what a fencer looks like, they're extending one arm and keeping the other one back. Now, with that arm, the same side leg also extends, and the opposite leg and arm flex. So say I were to turn their head to the right, it would look like this. They'd be doing this kind of dance. But that's if you were to test it in an infant. Now, if you were to test it in an older child, it would be much different. You'd have them standing, and we call it our little zombie walk, where you have them feet close together, their arms are extended,
down, floppy like a zombie. Then we want them to keep their arms still and just like this as we have them close their eyes. And then we passively do the same thing. Rotate. This is in a standing posture. We have them passively rotate the head right and left, and we ask them to hold their hands still. Now, a retained reflex would look like this. If we turn the head to the right, we're going to start to see the hands do this, or drift go down, or drift, or they might turn their whole body one way or the other. You'll see different extremes of it. So that indicates that that reflex is retained. There are a few other ways to test it as well that we do if we're uncertain if it is retained or not, so that we can confirm it.
Yeah, you can have them go on all fours. We call, can you get into a crawling position? Or with some kids, can you stand like a cat or a doggy. And it's the same situation where you have them like neutral position, you passively turn their head, and if one of their arms in that crawling position bends or they move their body, then that would be considered a retained reflex.
Yep. And again, the beautiful thing is that when we have a retained reflex, there are things that we can do. So in our office, we start with the chiropractic adjustment because we want to make sure that the nervous system is working perfect before we continue and do anything else. And if that reflex is still retained, then we have the child do exercises at home, and we do other things in the office to help that reflex to inhibit.
Mm-hmm.
And why is that important? So we're going to talk now about some of the things that happen with a retained reflex.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that look like?
So with a lot of kids, the problems that they have or the difficulties that they have when they have a retained ATNR, other than attentive issues or not being able to focus in class, like Dr. Linda opened up with the ADHD, is that they have problems with hand-eye coordination or being able to do activities that cross the midline. So your child might be the child that doesn't like performing in sports because they have a hard time catching a ball, because with this reflex there's also visual difficulties. So being able to see the ball coming, catching it, and then being able to do the next activity. You might have a child that's the quote-unquote messy eater because they can't bring the fork to their mouth or they can't bring a spoon to their mouth to be able to eat their food. Another thing, crossing the midline, writing, they might have a problem with writing or reading. So that's why they don't like doing those activities or they don't prefer them, because it's just something that their brain is struggling to do because they have to compensate, and because of that they choose not to do those activities.
And usually these activities, this isn't really picked up until they do get to school for higher learning, because you wouldn't know that they had a reading problem until they had to be instructed to learn to read.
Exactly.
And then the teacher's going to come back and say, hey, little Mary, she just is having so much difficulty reading. She doesn't like to read. When we ask the child, what do you think about reading? They said, I hate it.
Yeah.
I really, really hate it.
Yeah, or you might think that your toddler is just clumsy, but in fact they're struggling because of something that's going on neurologically.
Yeah, so common throughout, the commonality between many of the reflexes is the poor motor control, balance issues as well. So these are all things that would cause them to be poor at sports again. They're going to also have confusion between left and right. So the child who doesn't know their left from right, that might be a sign to have them tested and checked as well. They're going to be having troubles with anything that cross-lateral movements that makes them cross the midline. So there's activities that will help them. There's exercises that we give them to help them to inhibit these reflexes once again. And once the reflex is inhibited, the child gains more self-confidence, because all of a sudden their balance improves, their coordination is better, they're able to focus better because they're not having the difficulties that are caused by this reflex being retained.
Exactly.